Lucy Neilson, who is Head of Experience at Lottoland, joins us now. Welcome, Lucy.
Thank you.
Do you feel the gambling industry is lagging behind other sectors when it comes to user experience and design?
It's a great question, and you know what, often I get asked this because my experience before this industry was actually in banking, and obviously it's a highly regulated market too. So in terms of the experience, I feel like it definitely had a lot of momentum to change. So that's where you saw a lot of challenger banks, a lot of different entrants to the industry, and actually I think it's a very, very good moment to talk about this because there is so much happening in terms of regulation right now, particularly in the UK. So yeah, I do think slightly we are lagging behind, but I think the regulation will allow us to help catch up because from my perspective, experience is the most important thing that we've got.
Is the look and feel of every operator's site just a bit too similar?
I would say that from an experience perspective, it's important that your experience mirrors and is similar somewhat because customers have things called mental models where they understand how a site is supposed to work, for example. That's not to say you can't play with that, but it's to say that actually you need to differentiate yourself not in how it looks or feels, but in the entire experience end to end. How joined up is it? How personal are your communications? How are you serving those customers' needs and how do you think about them?
So, I mean, how are Lottoland looking to develop in a slightly different way then?
So Lottoland is a company where we are very heavily focused on our employee experience. Our employee experience needs to be that our employees feel empowered and motivated to solve customer problems. So what we're doing is we're creating essentially virtual teams of people who understand very deeply that journey. And once they understand that journey, it helps them take better decisions on behalf of the customer. So happy, engaged, motivated employees who understand the landscape that they're dealing with take better decisions and actually are more motivated to solve things on behalf of the customer and therefore improve the experience overall. So we just invest in our employees loads. We make sure that they are the people making the decisions. So it's a very different way to work from some other companies I've been in for sure.
Yeah, sounds it. And so are customers so used to a set format for gambling sites and apps that it makes it difficult to break the mould? But I mean, you've just described how you're doing that.
Yeah, I think it is always going to be challenging, and lots of companies have actually evolved how they're doing things rather than like, hey, we're going to set it up so the journey makes sense in this way. So it's actually a lot of different challenges, process-wise, people-wise, technology-wise. How do those integrations happen? There's a lot to look at. But if you start with the core understanding that actually there's humans on the end of those numbers and you want to do the best for those humans that you can, you want to keep them safe, you want to have an enjoyable experience that they can come back, then the experience is the thing that differentiates. So not, the products, they're all the same. A lot of us outsource, different parts of different things to serve our customers' journeys. But in essence, that's why it's so important to consider the experience, because that is the one way that you're guaranteed to have an impact by making that pleasurable, making sure they want to come back, making it friction-free.
And so what sectors do you feel offer an approach that the gambling industry should look to emulate? I mean, you said you came from banking. I mean, has banking got something to learn from this industry or vice versa or both? Well,
I think both, really. I think there's a lot to learn from each other. I think what's nice about a lot of our professions is they're kind of dual. Okay, so you're not only in the gambling industry, you might also be in like a design role or a marketing role. So you may have experience from other companies. And those other companies can help you understand the landscape of that industry. So I think the more we kind of cross-pollinate ideas, the more that you understand what's happening in your own profession. It doesn't need to be so industry specific, it can be quite agnostic. So if you build that knowledge yourself and you understand that, you can, again, take more effective decisions.